All right. It's Sunday night, and that means it's Sunday night service. And I have got my good buddy here, Julie Derr. I am so excited about this tonight, guys. As soon as you get logged on, I need you to hit your heart buttons, hit your love buttons, and tell us where you're from. And then post your questions up here tonight, because we are talking about, we don't do diets. We do lifestyle. So that's not what I was going to put up here. We do lifestyle, and we are talking about faster way to fat loss with Julie tonight. And I'm so excited about this, guys. I've got patients who have joined faster way to fat loss and lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. And Julie is a trainer. No, what do you call it? A coach, a faster way coach. Yeah, faster way coach here in Franklin. Well, actually, I'm in Kentucky tonight, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about Julie while you guys are logging on, and then we're going to get right into this because we have a lot of information to cover. Julie's actually a physical therapist, and she's actually physical therapy and athletic training. She was a physical therapist. I did not know this, for the Ladies Pro Tour in the 90s. No, golf tour. I had no idea. I just started playing golf. What?
That was my very first job out of college.
Really? Mm-hmm. She's worked in outpatient orthopedic clinics in several states. She's a fitness enthusiast, and she's a marathon runner. 5 marathons. She's run the Boston Marathon and lots of half marathons. She makes me crazy. She's a huge runner. She was also a vegetarian for 40 years, and she barely looks 40 years old. But anyway, 40 years, and now she's recently become a pescatarian. I love that.
The faster way, thanks to the faster way, actually.
That's right. She had 4 kids in 5 years, by the way, and look at her. And she became a faster way coach in 2019. But not only that, she's a certified health practitioner through Dr. Stephen Cabral. Is it Cabral?
Cabral. Mm-hmm.
Cabral, which includes training in Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, herbalism, orthomolecular medicine, and functional medicine. I love it because she continues to learn. She continues to stretch her brain, and she's been a buddy of mine for a long time. And I am thrilled to death, Julie, that you're on here tonight, because we are going to break it down about faster way to fat loss. Thank you for being here.
I'm super excited to be here. And happy Mother's Day. I get to spend Mother's Day with Dani.
Happy Mother's Day. That's right. We get to spend it together. Happy Mother's Day, ladies out there. We're very, very thrilled to be here tonight. And just tell me about it. Number one, how did you even get started as a coach with Faster Way of everything else that you already do?
Well, I probably have to go way back to answer that question. So I have been interested in health and wellness my entire life. I mean, at the age of 5, I was interested in health and wellness. And I often wonder, like, why was I interested in that? But my family had terrible genes. So we've always had autoimmune issues. My dad was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 5. And then I was probably 7. My older sister was 10 and she was diagnosed. So we always had healthy food. I was one of those kids that grew up wishing I could have like Twinkies and some junk food, but we had healthy food because my mom didn't think it was fair to bring all that other stuff into the house when my other family members couldn't eat it. So that kind of spurred me to get a physical therapy degree. Always interested, again, health and wellness, taking care of people. And, in the PT world, you see all kinds of orthopedic issues. When I was working with the golfers, I didn't necessarily see obesity issues, but as a PT working with orthopedics, I saw how people's weight and how all their metabolic issues was impacting their orthopedic issues, which at that time, I didn't have any kind of training in nutrition and functional medicine. So I was just purely being a PT. So once I had 4 kids in 5 years, took a little break. And then I always had people asking me, well, what do you do? How do you stay fit? What are you eating? All those kind of things. And it was hard to explain to them in one, sitting, or just explain to them all the things that I did. So when I had a couple of friends that did this program, they were actually in Kentucky. They did this program and I was like, what are you doing? So I started investigating, and I was like, this program incorporates all the things that I'm doing in my own life. And I know it works because this is how I've kind of lived my life. So I investigated, like, how can I be a coach? And, 2019, and actually Faster Way has only been around for about 5 years. So,
okay, that was going to be my next question is how long has it been around? And I don't even know how it got started. So, okay.
And there you go. So 2019, I became a coach, and I just felt like this incorporated everything that is effective for people, but it was a virtual format. So even before COVID, people don't have time to go meet with a personal trainer or a nutritionist or, every day. They just don't have time or they don't want to. So the fact that this was virtual, you can do it from wherever. I could coach people back in my hometown in Wisconsin. I could coach people in Florida, Arizona. I've coached people all over the country because they have a phone or a computer. So it's that easy. So yeah.
Well,
that's long and
okay.
short of it.
So what's the program about? I mean, tell me about Faster Way. Who would join Faster Way? Do you have to be overweight? What?
Okay. So anyway, I didn't start the program, but I've been coaching it. There's hundreds of coaches throughout the country. So how is it different? So first of all, the fact that it's virtual is a big deal. Although, now that COVID hit, there are a lot of virtual programs, but this was virtual way before other programs were virtual. And then the other really important thing to me as a coach and as a physical therapist and somebody that's a science-based person, it's very science-based. So incorporates a lot of principles. The biggest number one principle, and I know this is Dani's thing, and it should be anything, any program you're in, whether it's Faster Way or anything, nutrition, whole food nutrition has to be the first thing. So that's number one. We also do carb cycling. So we don't just eat the same foods, even though I know you were talking about your friend that was eating something. We alternate carbs. So some days we do higher carbs, some days we do lower carbs. And there's some specific science-based principles behind that. We also incorporate intermittent fasting, very specific and also modifiable. So if I have clients that have, adrenal fatigue or thyroid issues, which I personally also have, I didn't mention that earlier. I have a thyroid issue. Got diagnosed with Hashimoto's when I was pregnant with my fourth child, and he's almost 17, so 17 years ago. And then we specifically pair workouts with the eating cycle. So the workouts are very specific. I was one, I'm a marathoner. I love running and still do. I always say that it's kind of my stress reliever as much as it is a workout.
Yes.
But the workouts are very specific. I see people all the time that are on the treadmill for hours and hours and getting nowhere. So those are the big principles. And then it's also a community. So that's one thing I think is missing with maybe a lot of other programs. I coach it through a private Facebook page. And I occasionally have clients that aren't on Facebook, and I email them separately, Zoom with them, text with them. Those clients that choose not to be on Facebook don't have that as much of a community, but the ones that are on Facebook, it's interactive because, people introduce themselves, kind of people share their own struggles, and everybody wants somebody to hold their hand and also to feel like they're part of something bigger. So I think that's a huge thing too.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's gigantic. All right. So how does it differ from, okay. So do you eliminate any foods? Do you work with anyone's diet? How does it work? Is it a gluten-free diet? Is it dairy-free? Is it sugar-free? Is it a keto? Tell us how you get started. What does a patient say? Just a patient comes in and they're eating a standard American diet, but they're trying to,
whole foods. So that means, if it came through a drive-through window or out of a box or a bag, it's probably not in the whole food category. So
that's right.
All fruits, all vegetables, all meats, nuts, grains, but we do gluten-free and dairy-free. And, in your world, I'm sure you get the same response as some people are like deer in the headlights when I tell them no gluten, no dairy. And largely because they are two of the most inflammatory foods out there.
You bet.
And I tell people, give it 6 weeks. Try your best. And I know it's hard to go cold turkey it was hard for me too. When I gave up dairy, I'm from Wisconsin. I love my cheese. I always say I have cheese in my DNA, but I just encourage people to give it up for 6 weeks. If they want to add it back in for 6 weeks, a little, and see how they feel. Almost everybody comes back to me and said, oh, I feel terrible. Like I really noticed it after I added it back in. So those are the only two things we eliminate. It's not restrictive. So we do track our food, which is part of the process because it's very eye-opening for people to see. And honestly, one of the biggest things I see people doing, one of the biggest mistakes, especially women, is under eating. When they start tracking their food, I see people eating 900 calories and they're way under eating. So, or they're eating a huge amount of fat or tend to be afraid of carbs. So I see everything, but just tracking your food and kind of figuring out, where you fit is huge for a lot of people. So other than that, we don't eliminate anything. And then we also incorporate, we have one, we call it treat day. So Saturday is, if you want your gluten or your dairy, you can have it, or try to find something that you enjoy eating that you maybe wouldn't eat daily, but it's a treat for you.
So what tracking do y'all use? Do you use MyFitnessPal, which is what I've used with patients for over a decade?
We use MyFitnessPal. Mm-hmm.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, the research on MyFitnessPal is huge, right? The people who use MyFitnessPal, they lose more weight and they keep it off longer than other people out there. That's what the studies show on MyFitnessPal. Back when I started using it 10 or 11 years ago, oh my gosh, it was a pain in the butt because nothing was on it that I was eating. Like if you were trying something gluten-free or a coconut cream, or they didn't have that stuff on there. Now it is so much easier. Like I had a patient tell me the other day who's a client of yours, and she said, Dani, basically everything is on MyFitnessPal now. It doesn't take any time to do it.
And if you go to a restaurant where they have all of your macros laid out for you, theoretically exactly what you're eating, you can enter those in directly into there. So you don't have to enter 20 different ingredients. If you already have a meal that so MyFitnessPal has come a long way. There are other people that come to the program and ask if they can use a different app. I encourage them to use MyFitnessPal. I know there's other apps out there. My husband used a different one, and when I had him do the program, he insisted on using his app. It was a Dr. Mercola back app, which I'm sure was great too. So that's one we usually use is MyFitnessPal.
Okay. Something I was just getting ready to say to you oh my gosh, about MyFitnessPal. And okay, keep talking about your program. It just left me. Oh, what about intermittent fasting? So they do intermittent fast on Faster Way?
So we do intermittent fasting actually daily. And, I adjust it again for the clients that maybe have some kind of adrenal fatigue or a thyroid issue. And then I coach them through, there are certain drinks you can drink, obviously water, some black coffee. There are a few little kind of, number one thing most people want to know about is cream in their coffee. That's a big thing. And so if we always use a parameter of less than 50 calories, no fiber, no sugar. So there are some non-dairy kind of creamer alternatives, some coconut creams and things like that you can use a dash of. But other than that, I try to get people to do at least a 12-hour window and then modify it up for people that are capable of doing a little more.
Yeah, we should all be able to fast for 12 hours. If you can't fast for 12 hours, because you're sleeping, hopefully 7 to 9 hours at night. No, I know what I was going to ask about macros. I want you to explain what macros are to people because a lot of people don't understand that. I don't count macros, so I don't know how to explain that to people.
Right.
Do you, explain macros.
So macronutrients are carbs, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, the major building blocks of your whole body. So the things that people think of like vitamins and minerals, those are micronutrients. So carbohydrates are things like fruits, vegetables, grains. Proteins are things like meats, eggs. There are also some proteins and obviously vegetarian proteins like I ate, like soy, which I know Dani's not a huge fan of, nuts, things like that. So again, all whole foods. And then fats are also in meats, also in nuts, in a lot of like some other plant-based things like coconuts and avocados, oils. So we specifically pair certain percentages of macros, so certain percentages of carbs, proteins, and fats. And then that percentage changes a little bit throughout the week, depending on a couple of days we do low carb days. So anyone that's heard of keto, which you probably have heard of keto unless you've been living under a rock. But,
Yes.
so a lot of people come to me, and I have nothing against keto or against any other diet, but I have personally seen a lot of women who've been doing keto long-term hit a plateau and then oftentimes gain weight. So, and they're also the people that are afraid of carbs in general. So carbs over the last probably 5 years have kind of got a bad rap. I see that as kind of a problem or an issue that a lot of people have to deal with, is reintroducing some carbs, which are, healthy fruits and vegetables where you also get your micronutrients. So
Yes.
those are macros, and we alter them each day of the week. So very specific. And it's not hard. So the first week is a little bit of a learning process, trying to figure out which days we're going to do lower carbs, which days we're not. But then we also specifically pair the carb cycle with the workouts. So the whole strategy is to tap into burning body fat and building muscle. So the combination of those two, building lean muscle, burning body fat, changing body composition, it's way more about that than the number on the scale. And I wish I could show you all the pictures of people that maybe went into the program and weigh a certain amount. And I tell people, when you come into the program, weigh yourself. And I have them measure certain measurements, their waist, their thighs, their arms. And then at the end of the program, maybe don't change a huge amount on the number on the scale, but their body composition is changed. And that is a way better indicator of your overall health than a number on the scale. So I tell people, weigh yourself and then put the scale away, throw it away, wait till the 6 weeks, and then weigh yourself again.
So to figure out how many macros you need, so when we sign up with you, if we sign up with you, it's 6 weeks, and we'll talk about all that at the end. You help decide how many, like I weigh 130 pounds, say, do you help decide that? How does that work? Walk us through. Say I joined tomorrow. What's going to happen?
Normally, in a general sense, unless you have specific needs, and especially like you're a vegetarian or something, normally protein intake is around 20 to 25%, depending on the person. Carb intake is usually anywhere between 40 and 50, and then fats would be the rest of the percentage. So usually around 30. So that's just a general sense, but obviously for different people with different needs, maybe somebody that came to me that has been doing keto for a long time, they have to jump into eating carbs a little slower. Someone that's a vegetarian usually can't eat as many grams of protein, especially if we're doing low carb days and getting the protein numbers. But yeah, in a general sense, everyone starts within a certain parameter, and then, based on their own individual needs.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then the exercise. So something that y'all do, you have great exercise. So do y'all already have videos that are already done?
This is the other thing about this program. There is an amazing app. This app is phenomenal. There's education. So first of all, I coach it through did I say I coach it through my private Facebook page? I can't remember if I told you.
You did say that on the first,
okay.
Who knows?
Yes. So I coach it through my private Facebook page. And then also a lot of the education, or a lot of the things that I talk about, that education is also on the app. There is a meal plan with a shopping list and a daily 3 meal a day and snacks meal plan for every single day, which coincides with the macro cycle. So on days that we're eating low carb, the meal plan is a low carb meal plan. There's a vegetarian option and a regular option for every single day. And people love the shopping list because they can look on Friday for the week before, go get their groceries. And here's the other thing. Some clients follow that meal plan exactly, and other clients don't want to. And for me, myself, I make my own food. I know how to make meals based on
me too.
But some people want to follow that. Some people say, I don't like that. I want to, help me figure out how to use the foods that I like and fit them into that macro cycle. So you can do whatever. You are not set on, having to eat those foods in the meal plan. So you can if you want to. So the meal plan's there. There is also a workout video for every single day of the week. So the program is 6 weeks. You have access to the app for 8 weeks. And every exercise is paired with a carb cycle. So we do 2 days of high intensity workouts. We do 3 days of strength training workouts. and we do 2 days of rest workouts. And the workouts are not an hour. They're not long. They're 30 minutes max. And that's the thing that I think people are shocked at too. People think they have to go to the gym and work out for an hour and a half to get results. And number one, you don't have to go to the gym. I do all my workouts at home. If you have just a couple free weights, which I know are hard to get during COVID, now they're kind of getting restocked. Free weights or bands, or for my clients that haven't exercised for years, I just have them do body weight to begin with. Yeah. And then HIIT. So I think a couple things that people do not do, and part of the reason they don't get results, they don't do HIIT training and they don't do strength training. They just walk, or run, or just ride the bike, just do pure cardio, which is really not getting them the results that they want.
Explain to them what HIIT training is. Cindy, I know you're going off though, real quick. No, there are no powdered drinks on this.
There's no fancy shakes, supplements, anything. This is all whole food. I coach people through, like, these are some protein powders that I like. These are some options. You can try them, but there's nothing you have to buy in terms of food. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, go ahead.
So HIIT stands for high intensity interval training.
Yes.
And like I said, when I found this program, I realized these are things, when I incorporated HIIT training to my running probably 8 or 9 years ago, they made all the difference. So high intensity, usually you're working out between 80 and 95% of your maximum heart rate. So when you're doing HIIT, you should be breathless, sweaty, not able to talk to people, giving it 100% of your all. So one of the days when I do HIIT, I do sprints, and that's always an option on one day. You can do sprints if you want to. I encourage people, if they don't have orthopedic issues, just whatever, go in your backyard where no one's watching and try it. But there's exercise videos, very competent head trainers that do all the exercise videos. Back before the app, I did my own videos. So I did my own videos for all my clients because I recognize it's easier for them to follow along with the video. So the other thing about the app, there is a regular exercise that you can do at home. There is a low impact version for everybody. For every single day, there's a low impact version, and there's a gym workout. So whether you go to the gym, whether you stay home, whether you have maybe an orthopedic issue or you haven't worked out for a long time, there's option for everybody. And if you don't, and like I said to begin with, the nutrition is the number one piece. So if you say, for whatever reason, I just don't think I can start working out, if you focus on the nutrition, you're still going to get results. But I mean, it's kind of like the cherry on top, the workouts. If you can do those too, it's just accelerating the results.
Wow. Yes, I have a patient. I mean, she's lost 40 pounds. She walked in the office and I was like, what are you doing? And she's doing the whole thing. Loves it. Apps, and signed up again. So do you have people that sign up, continue to sign up?
So once you do the 6-week program, you're eligible to be what's called VIP. So that's a monthly kind of subscription. I'm still your coach, but you also have access to the VIP Facebook community, which at last count, I think was around 30,000 people. So that's another private Facebook page. Also in VIP, it's a different app, but so it's just kind of an extension of what we've been doing, but at a little higher level because people already understand the carb cycling and kind of pairing the workouts. There are also lifestyle groups within VIP. So let me think if I can remember them all. Those over 50, men and women, parents of young children. I know I fit into most of these. Parents of young children, which, I fit into that a long time ago. Endurance athletes, which fit into that. Vegetarians and vegans, cancer survivors, and what's the other one? It will come to me. Oh, those who travel a lot. So those are lifestyle groups, which is another little niche that just provides a little extra level of kind of accountability and service. The other thing I ask people to do is I'm accountable to you as a coach. So I ask people to daily check in with me and send me their macros. So, a lot of people need that in order to have success because it's easy to sign up for a program and then go, oh, I don't have time. It is $199. So it's a cost to you, but every once in a while people get busy, they, have a weekend and then they go, I fell off the bandwagon and I'm just going to do my own thing and not send in macros. But, keeping you accountable helps people, I think, in the long term.
Well, that was going to be my next question, actually, was how often are they actually having contact with you? And the reason I'm asking this is last week I was working with a patient and she's with Noom, which is the competitor to Faster Way, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know a whole lot about Noom, but she signed up with Noom and apparently her coach was in Spring Hill maybe or something. But she got nothing, like some old videos and stuff. I mean, just like she said, she had zero accountability for her. And so I don't know if she was on some different level of a program, but anyway. And so when they asked her about it, or I guess they sent a survey, she said, well, I don't know. I had nothing. The coach just would send me out stuff that was just pre-done. She didn't have any one-on-one time at all. And I guess she didn't have a private Facebook community as well. So they do get time with you and they do text or however they send you their macros and all that.
I usually, if they're on my Facebook group, I encourage people to, I post on there daily. I encourage people to send me their macros there so I can see, and also to post questions there, because I tell people, if you have a question, chances are the other person that's in this program has the same question. So
that's exactly right.
The community aspect. I also do Zoom check-ins with the group, and I text people. I tend to text people a lot back and forth, just kind of depending on their comfort level. If somebody wants that accountability, I'm happy to give them that. Some people are just like, I just want to check in on Facebook. And again, some people that are just on email, I check with them usually via email and text too. And I always do, almost every week I do a live training. So this week for one of my groups that I'm going is also about lifestyle. So I talk about stress and I talk about sleep and I talk about how that affects your hormones and in turn affects your weight gain, your weight loss, all those things, because that's another thing that I personally underestimated. And me, I still, I burn the candle at both ends, but it's hugely important for weight loss. So talking about some of those lifestyle things too, are super important. So I do a training every week on kind of the subject matter that maybe I'm reintroducing or kind of bringing up.
Yeah, I've heard good things about your training. Nicole says, are the meals ones that will work for the whole family? I don't know that. I mean, I feel like I know that answer, but not for others just to lose weight, but can you make one meal instead of two? But
depending on what your kids eat, definitely. It's whole food. So you would have to increase the portion, because usually the portion sizes are maybe for 2 servings. You just have to increase the portions, but it's very simple things. And I tend to cook probably a lot like Dani, like,
yes,
I make a grain, I make some vegetables, I make some meats. That's how I cook.
That's how I cook.
They're a little fancier, for lack of a better term. So they incorporate a lot more spices and things like that. But definitely I have clients that make that for their family too.
Well, the family should be eating that clean. It's one of those things. Why do we feed the kids a bunch of dog food basically? And then we feed ourselves the clean one ingredient food, and patients tell me that all the time. And I'm like, well, oh, my child's so picky. Well, they weren't born picky. It's what I talk about all the time. We weren't born sick. You weren't born with Hashimoto's. I wasn't born with lupus. I wasn't born with irritable bowel syndrome. I turn it on, and we turn those same kids on, most of the time, those picky eaters. And so feed them what we're eating. Make it simple. And if they don't eat for a week, well, that's okay. They will still live. Trust me. I know they will. It'll just make your life a mess. Hey, Jenny says, what's the extent of nutrition education that coaches get with regard to clinical conditions and how to approach? So basically, what kind of training? What kind of training does the coach get through?
So training, you have to go through a whole online educational process and pass an exam. So a lot of coaches come from different backgrounds. There are a lot of coaches that are doctors, physical therapists, nutritionists that have a medical background. There are also coaches that have no medical background, but they had maybe a huge weight loss story or, a huge lifestyle change when they joined this program, so that we all go through the same training. I I like to bring my integrative health practitioner stuff, my gut health stuff, things I've learned from Dani. I like to bring all that to the table too, because I think all that's important. So everybody, depending on their background, brings a little bit different kind of something to the table, but everybody goes through the same training, and it's pretty extensive. It takes some people. It didn't take me a super long time, a month to go through. Maybe it takes some people a lot longer to go through that process to get certified.
Sure, absolutely. Hey, why do you think, I was just thinking about this, why do you think that diets fail? Because this isn't a diet, this is a lifestyle. Why do you think so many people fail at this? What do you think? What do you think the mindset? Where's the breakdown?
I think, gosh, so many reasons. First thing is they don't incorporate whole foods. They try to figure out a way to continue to eat their Sonic and not that that's bad to, once in a while to have something that, but they continue to try to figure out a way to eat those foods that they're eating in a program. They don't want to look at this as long-term. They want to sign up for something and do it for 6 weeks and then go back to their old ways, even if they change their ways to begin with. They're confused about what to do for exercises. All they know is I need to eat less and exercise more, which in the grand scheme of things, just like I said, when I see people coming into this, that is a huge, huge mistake. So many people, I think, are afraid to eat, and they're eating the wrong things. Yes. And the other thing is they're not working on the other lifestyle things like reducing their stress. So all those things, just the little factors that they don't change, definitely don't give them long-term results. Like the under eating and over exercising, I think people's metabolisms have just totally crashed, for lack of a better, term. So they have a hard time kind of figuring out a way they've got to increase their metabolism in order to maintain that kind of weight loss and ongoing weight loss.
You are exactly right about that. My friend that I had breakfast with, that you're working with right now, she told me that you helped her figure out, she wasn't eating enough calories. Mm-hmm. She wasn't eating enough. And so, okay, so you incorporate, it's interesting. I know there are a lot of coaches out there and there's a whole lot of things. I'm a big fan of a coach, of having some sort of coach, a business coach, a public speaking, whatever, a coach, a life coach. I just think that it takes people to a whole nother level when you have a coach. Coaches need coaches also. Mm-hmm. Good coaches do have coaches. I bet, do you incorporate your physical therapy in this, your functional medicine training in this? How blessed to have a coach like you that has all this background, mm-hmm. and they let you incorporate all of this?
Well, I just do. People come to me with shoulder issues or knee issues, and they can't. They have to have exercises modified, and
you bet.
There's nobody telling them how to do it. So a lot of people, I guess, would just say, "I'm not exercising," but I'll say, "Okay, you have this issue. Let's do this. Let's work around it this way." And same thing with functional medicine. I understand the whole cortisol, thyroid, all that is related. And so I bring that to the table too. And when I talk about kind of lifestyle things.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. And okay, so what else do we need to talk about here? That somebody did ask, do you have a sample of a dinner menu you can tell us about? But actually, I think that,
I can read you the one from today. If I pulled it up here, I haven't.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Because I haven't pulled up our menu for today, considering it's Mother's Day. Let me, if you can bear with me, while I have my phone here. Yeah. Why don't I have to put my glasses?
Well, she's finding that right now. Julie's website is juliederfitness.com, and it's a great website. Also, if you follow her on Instagram, she has a great Instagram. She's always showing her workouts and things. And that's not her price. This is Faster Way's price, by the way. So Julie works for Faster Way. Like, she's not Faster Way. She works for them, and it's $199 for 6 weeks. Her private Facebook group is only if you sign up through Faster Way. So somebody had asked about that. It's a private community, like our Inside Out community is a private community. You have to ask to join and all that. And then, okay, do you have a menu? I mean, do you have
and also, just so you know, so juliederfitness.com links to my Faster Way site where anyone can sign up. I'm starting a new program. I usually start them on Mondays. I usually do at least one a month, one group a month. And I like to coach it as a group. Every once in a while, someone will contact me and say, I really want to join your program. And maybe I just had one going. So if I can get at least a couple people just so they can get that community aspect, I'll just run a smaller group. And also my other website is under construction. That's juliederwellness.com, where I'm also offering some private coaching, kind of integrating all of these things, but outside of the Faster Way. So this wasn't for today. This is just one that popped up that was in my recipe library. Very easy. It's spaghetti squash with ground turkey, water, nutritional yeast, and broccoli. So it's more like a spaghetti squash boat. If you've never made that, a cooked spaghetti squash, kind of,
scrape it out,
cooked and scraped with ground sausage or turkey and broccoli and a few spices. So that is a super easy one, but just an example. A lot of times this is a buffalo chicken rice bowl. That's just the headline of the recipe. So a lot of variation. And again, there are vegetarian ones and non-vegetarian ones, which is beneficial. I honestly haven't coached a lot of vegetarians, but a lot of people that are vegetarians want to coach that kind of knows other alternatives. And that is honestly, Dani knows this is the reason that I became a pescatarian, because I realized in tracking my own macros, I was having a really hard time hitting my protein. And protein's super important for building muscle, for enzymes, for connective tissue, for skin, all those things. So I incorporated fish just in the last year, and I think it's been helpful. Mm-hmm.
You feel good?
I feel good. Yep. Just had fish for Mother's Day lunch. Yep.
I'm so proud of you.
True Food Kitchen. True Food Kitchen.
There you go. Oh, I love True Food. Oh my gosh. Their salmon. Did you have their salmon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they have some of the best salmon out there. Brenda says, how do you help with plateaus when people plateau off and kind of stall out?
Great question. So usually when people hit a plateau, I change their macro percentages. And ironically, a lot of times you have to eat a little bit more instead of eating less. So eating more to increase that metabolism. So that I also sometimes change the fasting cycle, but a lot of times it's just changing the macros to kind of get your body out of that plateau.
Wow.
Which is something that we do in VIP. So anyone that goes through the 6-week program has the option to continue with VIP. I've had clients that are in VIP that have been in VIP since the first day I started coaching them. And we are constantly changing. So a lot of that is led by some of the head trainers. So this month, for instance, May, we are doing a completely different macro cycle only in the VIP. That's different than we did in April. We're also doing a different workout program. We do different challenges. So VIP is kind of an extension, but it's really meant to continue to find results and also to keep you from hitting a plateau.
That's exactly right. And I think anytime you do something like that, they need a VIP, to go on. Like I said, to continue coaching, like the mastermind that I'm in next year, there's a VIP section to that because it's the people who are coming back, right? Who continue to need to be coached. In person or online, Cindy's asking.
Cindy, most of my clients I meet online, but I am not opposed to meeting people in person. I've met people in person as well. I mean, especially if, they're local. So.
Well,
yeah.
VIP, I don't know, Nicole. Nicole, I think you're in, I don't know if you're in Faster Way already or not. So I don't know the price to continue.
The cost for VIP is $79 a month. So it's a monthly program, but again, it's daily workouts, daily meal plans, that kind of extra. Also, when you're in VIP, you have access to a health coach. So there's other certified health coaches that work specifically for the Faster Way. So you have also access to one-on-one consult and other just perks of being a VIP. So it's $79 a month.
Okay.
Oh, the link isn't
I've had two people say the link isn't working. Julie Derr Fitness. Julie Derr.
Is it
fitness.com.
is
Julie
it
Derr Fitness.
is it
I don't
spelled?
know. JuliederFitness.com.
Huh.
That was working the other day when I checked it.
Yeah,
So
it was working this morning.
somebody else confirmed that it's not
Yeah.
working. So I am thrilled to death, guys. So if the link's not working, do they have a phone number to call, or is it best to email or
So if you're not like, and I just pulled it up, it worked on mine, but that's interesting.
Okay.
So email me, and I can also, because that links to my Faster Way, which is a longer fasterwaycoach.com. You want me to type it in the chat? Will that help?
Yeah, how about you do that? You do that for sure.
Okay.
So guys,
and
I'm not a fan.
JulieDerrWellness.com is my other one that's not quite up and running. Okay, let's see if I can access this chat.
Yeah, public chat right there. So you guys know I'm not a fan of boxed, packaged, bagged, canned, fake food of any kind. Diet food, Nutrisystem, all the things. I'm not a fan of any of that where somebody in a plant is making your food. If your food is coming out of a box, a bag, a can, a tube, a roll, somebody else is in charge of your health, and that would be the food industry. And trust me, you do not want them in charge of your lifespan. The reason I brought Julie on here is I have a lot of patients who they need some help. They need a coach. And I've never, ever, ever had anything like this on Sunday night service because I'm very picky about what kind of business you want to put out there and put not my name to, but you don't want to suggest something that's, and I trust Julie. Did you?
If I go to the host chat, can I post it in there or only
that's just me and you. If you post it on public, it'll pop up.
For some reason, it's not letting me.
Okay.
I don't know why, doesn't give me.
So I know Julie Derr Fitness works. JulieDerrFitness.com. So
I pulled it up too. It worked, but you're welcome to email me as well.
Okay. And what is it?
gmail.com.
What is it?
JulieDerr@gmail.com.
Okay. There we go. I'm putting it in right now. All right, guys. I just put it in. It'll pop up in just a minute. You don't see a public chat up there?
I see public chat, but it just doesn't allow me to. And I see where you added that, but it doesn't allow me to add anything.
Okay. Anything else, Julie, you want to say? Because I know you've got a family meeting here to get to and all of that. Anything else you want to tell our tribe out there?
So I'm also certified to coach pregnant women and postpartum. I've had several postpartum women. Most of the people that have come to me, they're pregnant, maybe got pregnant after they signed up, but just to help people kind of stay on track and not lose weight when they're pregnant, but just gain appropriately. So other than that, I'm just passionate about this. I mean, just like I said, from an early age, especially having 4 kids, looking at public school lunches and seeing how our kids are fed, and just seeing even our teenagers and our adolescents, them struggle with things that are just going to continue to get worse if they're not addressed. So anyway, feel free to contact me. Hopefully that website works later. I'm not sure why it's not, but let's see. When you sign up, Cheryl, no, you can do 1 month, you can do a year, you can do whatever. There's no strings attached as far as VIP. You can sign up for as long as you want to.
Yeah, you may want to be there for a while and just keep, but and I know people get hung up, they get caught up in the weeds because we had several people mention about the recipes. Don't worry so much about the recipes, right? Mm-hmm. Or the menus. Just eat clean, 1 ingredient food that you put together, like Julie was talking about. Tonight, I know what we're having in here. We're having a pork tenderloin. We're having pork tenderloin, a salad, and something else, steamed broccoli, I think. Those are 1 ingredient foods that you put together. And then if you want to make a big old recipe too, I mean, like something with a whole bunch of stuff in it, that's fine too. Those are just 1 ingredients that are being put in something. But I am so thrilled that there's no gluten or dairy, and probably very low sugar, I would think.
No sugar, because it's whole food. So, cake and cupcakes don't fit into a whole food category.
No, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No,
you know,
so
I'm not against.
sugar's
I'm
going
not.
to automatically eliminate when you eliminate, when you're eating whole food.
Sugar is a big deal for people.
Mhm.
I mean, a real big deal. And I'm not against soy. You know, we talked about that. It is one of the top 7 inflammatory foods in the country. But I'll tell you what's so inflammatory about it is the GMO,
Mhm.
glyphosate laden soy. If
Right.
soy were the devil, then the Asian women would all have breast cancer. They would all have endocrine cancer, like GYN cancer, like there's no tomorrow. And they don't. In fact, they have some of the lowest rates of breast cancer out there. Soy is protective of
Mhm.
women. It's the bad soy that's
Right.
bad for you. But you know, there's some great soy, and you know, because you ate soy, or you do eat soy,
Mhm.
and it's got
There was
protein.
a formulator that I met, 8 or 9 years ago, and he told me that a long time ago. Soy is not bad. You cannot have, it's all genetically modified. You have to find something that's not genetically modified. It's one of the most genetically modified foods.
You bet it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. So, Julie, I'm just so grateful to have you on here. You guys have her website, you have her email address, and you can get in touch with her if you want to sign up for Faster Way, and you can have her coaching you. And the reason I wanted to bring her on here is because I know Julie personally, and I know there are a lot of coaches out there. So when they go to your website, it takes you straight to your Faster Way, and they don't have to ask for you.
Right.
For a coach,
It goes
right?
straight. Yes. And can anybody confirm? Is it working now? I'm not sure why it's not working, but yes, that goes directly to my coaching site. And again, feel free to email me if you have questions that you need answers specifically, because you can't contact me through that website. It just goes directly to my sign up site. So if you have questions, feel free to email me. No problem.
Perfect, Julie. I appreciate you. You're so good. Guys, listen, if you have any questions, let Julie know. Next week, I have Dr. Jessica Drummond on here, and I met Jessica 3 years ago in California. I'd followed her for a while. She has her PhD in physical therapy, and I think it's physical therapy, but she specializes in endometriosis, pelvic pain, GYN issues for women, menopause, postmenopause. I mean, she is the real deal. I sat in on an 8-hour workshop with her in California 3 years ago with Dr. Trudy Scott and her. They led one together. And I've been trying for 3 years to get her on here. And she's next week. And we're going to be talking about pelvic pain, pelvic health, patients with endometriosis. If you or someone you know struggles with pelvic pain, let me tell you, it's a big deal. And pelvic floor rehab has changed. I can't tell you how many of my patients' life out there, and that's a whole specialty of your group, right?
I have no training in, pelvic floor, obviously, but not in pelvic floor rehab. And now there's specific PTs in town, and I know some of them who are only doing that, which is huge. And I have personal friends too who have been hugely helped by that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So that's next Sunday night at 6:00. I'll still be up here in Kentucky then, but we're going to do it again. But you guys need to go see Jackson and Britt this week. If you haven't been in the supplement store, you need to get in there and see them, because we have tripled the size of it, and it's pretty darn cool. It's looking good. May the 21st, in 2 weeks, is the next Hashimoto support group meeting, live in Franklin at the office. And we're going to be discussing the last year, the shot, COVID, all the things, right? So, who's gotten it, who hasn't, all of that's going to be an open meeting, Hashimoto support group meeting. Allen Hill Pharmacy will be sponsoring that. And we'll be talking about also all the natural thyroid medicines that are back on recall now. In fact, NP thyroid is on recall again. 15, 30, 60, and 90 milligrams are all on recall by the FDA. So we've got lots of things to talk about. And then June the 3rd is the clinic crawl at my office. Actually, Julie, you could set a booth up. You could set a table up there if you just wanted to talk to people. That's June the 3rd. It maybe not. It's a Thursday night. We now have, I'm the first one who was in our complex on Mallory Station Road. We now have 4 functional medicine clinics in our complex. Myself, Dr. Charles Bell, Dr. Amanda Ryden, Lori Powell, who's an acupuncturist and an NAET certified acupuncturist, practitioner. So we're doing a clinic crawl, and we're going to go from clinic to clinic. You all are. We've got 5 different supplement companies that are going to be set up there. Our reps are going to have booths set up. It's going to be a big deal. And we've got a big supplement sale that day. And it's Jackson's going away party to medical school as well that night. But that's June the 3rd. You all need to get it on your calendar. If you live local, we want you in Nashville or in Franklin that night. So, all right, guys. Oh, goodness. Yes. Well, they cannot get the link to work. So, Julie, double check that is correct.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Okay.
That should be correct.
.com. It is .com.
Yeah.
It's not. Okay. All right, guys. Just email her.
Yeah.
In fact, you talk for real quick. I'm going to try it real fast here while we're
try it. Yes, I'm going to put another one.
Julie Derr, FITNE fitness.com.
Yeah.
Nope, the site cannot be reached.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay, so something might have happened, but that's okay.
I guess I need to investigate that. What has happened since this morning when I was on there? But okay, well,
okay,
I'll check back in with Dani and let you know.
All right, guys, and you can email her, and she's got a fantastic Instagram. What's your Instagram, Julie Derr?
Julie Derr, and yes, and I could put if I could put it in the chat. I don't know if you want to type in there.
I'll do it. What do you want me to type in?
So it's. Do you have to type in the whole HTTPS or not? When you when you put your links in?
So
it's
www.
fasterwaycoach.com.
Hang on. fasterwaycoach.com. Got it.
/ hashtag and then my name. Hashtag. So / then a hashtag and then just Julie Derr all together.
Got it. Right there.
That's the site that this site links to. So I'm not sure why it's not linking. That's interesting.
Okay. Is that it right there? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. We sure do appreciate you. Happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. And if you're interested in getting a kickstart on your health, getting a kickstart on your weight loss, or just your fitness, or just getting your, cleaning up your diet, whatever, give Julie a shout out, and she will take good care of you, because I know she does, because she's taken great care of my patients throughout the last couple of years. Appreciate you, Julie. Don't go anywhere. We're going to sign off. You all have a great night, and I'll see you next Sunday night with Dr. Jessica Drummond. Endometriosis.